those fucking people pouring all this shit into the fucking camera, and I pray to God it goes away tomorrow. But probably not. I probably get to be miserable for the rest of my life, and that's fine. That's who it is. That's what it is. And this is one fucking Facebook post I really wanted to go over, right? And it really encompasses everything. And these are the ones that get tens and thousands of shares. The ones that are just a little too nuanced to be understood, but where you can be like, the fault's probably not my own. But here's the thing. Anyone else who gets it, you're just admitting you're stupid. You understand? You're admitting that you don't have anything in the real world. So I just want to apologize to my kids, ... The world I thought I would raise you in isn't what you see now. And so I'm going to explain something here. So the reason the world that you thought you were going to raise them in isn't what you see now is because that never existed. Because you're fucking... I'm coming off like I know more. I am dumb. Okay? Hello, dummies. This is Young and Dumb. And I am the dumbest. And I don't think I'm better than anyone. But you must think you're better than someone if you thought you could promise the whole world to two ugly fucking kids. You understand me? Your children, 80% of the time, are going to be ugly for most of their life. They will be pretty from 16 to 25 like everyone else, and then they will be ugly again. And you pray to God they score somebody good enough to promote the fucking gene pool up so that your kids can have prom dates. You understand? So that they aren't alone studying for fucking AP physics or whatever gay shit. You understand? Okay? So the reason the world isn't here that you were promising your kids to is because you promised them the world that you made up ideally in your head to get to wherever you want to go. You promised them the world that got you through the day. No. Now what you're doing is you're passing down traumas. The world I thought I would bring you into isn't the world that's here now, but you're still training them for the world that you thought you would bring them into, right? Right? Even though you've never been in that fucking world. Grow the fuck up. If you're having kids, you don't get to sit there and be like, I wonder what the fuck what did you think this world... One sec. No, hold up. What did you think the world was? I'm shaking the mic like a baby. What did you think the world was? Okay? Okay? When I was 4, 9/11 happened. What did you think the world was? You thought 9/11 is probably the worst it's gonna get. Right? We were toddlers and there were terrorist attacks. Toddlers and tiaras and toddlers and terrorist attacks. Those are two worlds. You understand? And we gotta grow up seeing both. It's beautiful. Don't promise a world without terrorism to your children. Even if you do something that is fucking dumb, but you do it so fucking well. For example, Michael Jordan, or even better, like Shaq, Magic Johnson. You know, these are people who are playing a sport that I consider useless. There's nothing going on, but at the same time, they can garner this respect. They can get, because they just slay so much ass, because they fuck so much pussy. You understand what I'm saying? What these guys all have in common is that they just fuck all the time. And that's truly, but that's the thing, is that even fuck basketball, even fucking will get you respect. If you're a cool dude who fucks a lot, people respect it. When you die, people will go, that guy fucked a lot. You know? Be the guy who fucks. Be the guy who fucks. Now, there's stipulations to this. Consensually fucking. Usually going to be a necessity. Makes it a lot harder for some, I know. But a lot of times, it's not that hard. Anything that you want is not that fucking hard. Somebody else just has it and you need to get it. There's not very many resources that need mind, okay? And lucky for you guys, there's not a pussy mind, okay? Do you know how much harder it would be if we had to get ass from the earth? If you had to put in 8 hours of work to do it? Most guys, like, it's not. There's people out there just waiting, just ready for it, you know? Back to cops.
So, for example, one thing I was seeing that was a little bit more on the side of, like, we'll never be out of here. I saw somebody post, and this is what you see a lot of times, that, like, the people who have given up a lot of times will resort to Facebook. It's very easy to resort to social media when you've given up. Everyone on there will pretend you're the best person ever and they love you, and you can literally lay in bed for every hour but one of the day. It's literally solitary. It's voluntary confinement. Twitter is voluntary confinement, and that's what people do. Twitter, Facebook, all of it. People don't want to leave the fucking house. They don't want to have memories. They want to have the things on Facebook play every fucking year from what they did last year. They don't want to make any more. They're fucking happy with it. And it's so, for example, I had a lady post on fucking Facebook, being a teenager is so hard nowadays. Okay. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why do you have teenagers as your friends on Facebook? I fucking don't. This thing's fucking clean with metal. I had to move it, whatever. But you're probably thinking, why do you have Facebook friends that are teenagers? I don't have any Facebook friends that are teenagers. So why is this lady saying it's hard to be a teenager nowadays? Here's the whole, every movie in the 80s, the 90s, every trope, every mother that you talk to that got bullied, they all just say, every person, every shitty jock who now has the highlights of their life relived in a bar, okay? All of these people will say, I wish I could go back and redo it with what I know now. That's what it is. That's always the trope, is that somebody wishes they could redo it. Like, and now we're just openly admitting, like, we wouldn't know. Oops. I'm 40 years old and I don't know how to, like, get through, like, teenage years. And, like, I get that. I don't know how to get through teenage years necessarily. But sometimes, and this happened to me, sometimes your parents gotta tell you, people are retards. No one fucking cares what they think. If they think you are the lowest, if they think you are the highest evil in the land, if they think you are some form of Hitler, who fucking cares? At the end of the day, everything you think about yourself is applicable to everyone else. Everyone else is retarded. Tell them that. Tell them, as unconfident as you feel, everyone else feels. And they're saying these things, and you can pick them apart, and you can make them put you in their suicide note. You understand? Flip the fucking tables. It's all about opportunity, and there's doers, and there's fucking not. Okay? So decide. But no, don't. You shouldn't just turn it. Well, I mean, it would feel good. I know it would, and that's just how it would feel good, But don't do that. Don't do that. But also at the same time, the point of it is to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, the point, like, if you get out of bullying, you're eventually just going to make that other person feel like garbage. There's shitty feelings between two people. It's going to end up on somebody's mental load, and things like that. Which, whatever. I got bullied from fucking 5 years old till, like, 17, so it's not, I mean, like, who am I to be like, here's how to avoid bullying? I would want 100%, if I went back to high school right now, I would get my shit kicked in. Somebody would beat the fuck out of me. Like, I mean, like, no one did back then, which was almost surprising, and it's funny too, and I think that's why I am the way I am now, like, where I'm like, no one's gonna stop me, because, like I remember times I had, like, blood running down my knuckles from, like, punching shit, and I was just walking out, and, like, no one stopped me, and I was like, there's not even a cop here, no one cares. I just started my car, I waited, like, I thought somebody was gonna be like, stop, you can't, school, it's a moral thing, you can't leave. No one gives a fuck, no one wants you there, and here's why. Because as soon as they count attendance, they get their legal tender for you being there for the day. That's the same reason why all these people who come in and be like, there's some lady in the fucking Midwest that's be like, you know what? And they want fucking viral on Reddit. You know what? You guys are getting money to make these kids wear masks and teach them lies, and it makes them sick, and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Who cares if she's right? Who cares? You fucktards think you're fucking proving something. You're just waking up. I got told as a child, they say, if you are here, We get money for you being here. If you aren't here, we don't get any money. So we need a certain amount of you to come here, and we count on a certain amount of you dropping out. We don't need to attend to a certain amount of you, because we're going to cull a certain amount of you. Not all of you are meant to be here. Sure, legally you're required to, but we don't want you. You don't want to be here. Leave. And that's the other side. Maybe there's some bullies in school. Maybe they just need to drop out. Just let them. Sure, they're 13. People are making old boy decisions now when they're young. We have you know how Harvard graduates in the 90s were 13? Now we have influencers that are 13. They drive Lambos. These people just make up fucking names, and they are who they are. This man has an alter ego. A little hoodie has an alter ego on a Burger King commercial. Do you understand painting your life through the story of a Burger King commercial? What are we doing? What the fuck? And here's the fucked up part. If I had my name, I think you have to say his full fucking name, whatever retarded shit that is. It's probably Daniel or David or whatever. I'm pretty sure that sounds about right. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Because you start to think, I would kill myself if I was on a Burger King bag. You understand? If I saw my face soaked with grease and covered in cheese and ketchup, I would end my fucking life. And so to have people sit there and fucking eat Burger King with this man's face on it, and he's like, yeah, dude. So who is this guy on the Burger King? And he's asking himself, it's the most insane shit you've ever seen. It's why did you let him direct it? He said, fine, I'll direct it. I'm a director. He films fucking Vine videos or whatever, TikTok videos or whatever, and it's just he's a director now? Is that what this is? And so now he's filming Burger King commercials? So these are the people who are having children, and kids are being so how do I deal with bullying? They're being a teenager is hard. I gotta go post on Facebook. I'll see you later, though. And, don't give up, bro. And it's what? That's who we have teaching our fucking, and it's not that, it's just funny that the same people who have kids are the same people who can't figure out fucking high school and shit. And, whatever, but it's just one of those fucking things. Then somebody in the comments, and you start to see where all of this goes. The voluntary confinement and everything, it's too boring. It's not enough. It can't ever be enough. There's too much stimulation required in a life. You need to join the army, and you need to gun people down. You need to go to a foreign land, and you need to have people chase you out because of the color of your skin. You need to go have some fucking experiences or something. And that's just what the fuck they're saying to people, is that people don't suffer enough, and that's not necessarily what you need. You need to go experience something. But instead we have this voluntary confinement where people decide to live their whole goddamn life on Facebook, Twitter, whatever bullshit, and they're ready to end it by 13 because everything they've experienced is now dull. They haven't seen the sunset they've had to work for. Nothing is real anymore. They all just live in a shit fucking... We're literally all just the fat dudes from Wally. We're all just the fat ass people from Wally. We're just getting there. And so this person in the comments goes, same. Hoping the 20s get better. You know what the 20s brings? Heroin. It brings heroin. Okay? You don't get better. I'm gonna tell you something. Here's a little fucking secret, folks. You don't get better all of a sudden. You don't go to the doctor, and they don't give you a fucking pill. They don't have anything. You just gotta figure it the fuck out. And that's how some people are garbage fucking people. Because we all are just doing this on our own. And it is what it is. But I get this is a little negative. It's not meant to be. It's just funny whenever people are like, I hope the 20s are better. It won't be. Wait, let me stop you. Get on a different trajectory. It will not be. If they hate being a teenager with no power, they will know not what to do whenever they get all of their power. That is the issue. Once again, these are just 90s movies tropes. You're an old man. You drink a lot of coffee. You think a lot. You don't remember much. You fought in Vietnam. You raised some kids. And they care about you. Maybe you got a wife. Maybe you do. Maybe she's dead. Maybe she's not really mobile. She watches TV with you at night. Who knows? And so your daughter, who cares about you, brings you out to a park. It's a little marina, and it's a beautiful place. It's called Sunset. It's obviously notable for its sunsets. It's got a few beautiful beaches that you just sit on, and the river smells like garbage, and it's filled with garbage, but everything else is pretty. So you just look up. But you're sitting there, and you're. So let me paint another picture. This man's on his way there. He's going to this beach. Now, on the beach is an unsuspecting young guy who's trying to navigate life. He's trying to understand, what do we get from this? What is hard work? Because for the first time in his life, he's having to work hard. He's going through rehab, not because he wants to, but because a woman in a court said, you're going to do this because you have a problem. And was she right? Maybe. Who knows? Was I taking acid in rehab? Yes. I mean, like, was she? I mean, you know, it makes sense. And so you're sitting there and you wonder to yourself, you think, what does hard work get you? Did I go on the wrong path? Did I go on the wrong path just taking psychedelics and exploring these things that are just maybe not even real, that no one fucking cares about, that I tell my parents about and it doesn't matter. It's not a college degree to them. They don't have anything that they find valuable in it. You couldn't do anything that would interest them. You would just kill yourself if you lived their life. You couldn't go work at a factory for 40 years. They'll never understand you. You're taking fucking tabs of acid to see what God wants to show you. That's it. This world's retarded. You don't care. People are gay. You want to see lizard people. You don't want to live in this. You want to talk to the gnomes. That's it. And so you're sitting there and you're wondering to yourself, because you're finally you're a little bit sober. Like, you don't get to do weed. Like, acid's just kind of like a workout mentally every day. It's not really a lot. Like, it was just making me paranoid, but whatever. It's not me. Another guy. But it's one of those things that, like, what did it get me at the end of the day? So I'm sitting here trying to be sober, wondering if this is work that'll pay off, if this is a trial that makes sense, or if I should be able to go relax, if I'm able to take a fucking second to myself and get high as I want on whatever I want, as long as it doesn't show up on a drug test, which is fucked up. That's the only rule, as long as it doesn't show up on a drug test. That's what fucks people up, is that they start experimenting with things that don't make sense, whatever. So you're standing there, and you're looking at the sun, and you think to yourself, you're about 19, 20, and you think to yourself, what does hard work get you? What does playing by the rules of this get you? And you're asking God. You've been asking God. And this Vietnam veteran just kind of wanders out and just walks towards me. Just continues to go towards me. And I see him, and he stands next to me. Hello. And I remember being really sad. I think I wanted to talk to people. I get really pathetic without drugs. I just I just start acting insane. So I'll just start reaching out to people, being like, "What's the issues?" But so, like, I was just sitting there. I'm like, "Hey man, how's it going?" And he started to talk, and I started to realize that this is. And he goes, "You know, I used to fight in Vietnam." I was like, "Oh, really?" And so this man begins to tell me about, like, how he had fought in a platoon in Vietnam. I was like, that's insane. I was like, and so like, well, and so I think to myself, this is God giving me a door. Let us walk through this door. So I was like, what went on over there? Like, how are you? Like, you know, like, just trying to inquire. And he starts to tell me about how he and the guys in his platoon would have to jerk each other off because no one was there to jerk them off. So at night sometimes they'd jerk each other off. But it wasn't gay. And they wouldn't, like, come on each other. But they would, because that was the struggle of Vietnam. And so you're no longer asking questions. You're like, this was Satan's door. This was Satan's door. And you're no longer asking questions. You're just wondering what's happening. And all of a sudden, beep, 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 beep. His watch starts ringing. And he goes, "I gotta go." I tell him, "You have a good day, man." He's like, Thanks. You too. Thanks for talking. No problem. And he walks away. And he just walks slowly, just out of the woods. And I stare off on the sunset. And I think to myself, nothing fucking matters. You understand? Because now I'm looking around for a gay soldier on the beach with a bullet hole through his head, thinking he was sent for somebody, right? Like I'm looking for a soldier with a pride flag on his shit, just trying to be like, that couldn't have been. Was that for me? Did I interrupt something from God? Was God like, you know what? Gay soldiers aren't bad. America's got it fucked up. I'm going to send this guy in just to let him know. And it's just like, no, he stopped at me, and now I'm hearing about dudes jerking each other off. And it's just like, that's what you get. When you finally get old, you finally navigate through everything right, you raise your family right, you get to go to the beach, and you get to tell people about those fucked up times you're pressing your head. They're somehow the only things left. You can just sit here. Speaking of, I think some people sit in their room too long, and metaphorically or literally, whatever. And I think it makes people desperate. It also makes people very smart, though. You understand. A lot of folklore, myth, and things are based around these people who have sat around for extended periods of time and didn't have anything to do but think and to plot. The best villains come out that way. The best prizes are from those things. And I think a lot of life is about patience when we don't normally take that route. We usually go the short route. We cash in on anything we can quick. And that's why I think that Brian Laundrie is a national hero. And you understand? So follow me here. And I know you're saying, you're like, this is insane. How could, one, we don't know what he did. Okay? I'm not a lawyer. If you're watching me, you're not a lawyer. Pray to God. And, God, got my blood pressure up a minute there. But Brian Laundrie has been gone now for however long, like 3-4 weeks, almost a month, which is pretty intense. And he's been out there forever. And a lot of people speculate about everything. It's kind of funny to see people do shit. Like, there's like two sides of it, where there will be people that are like forensic analysts that are talking about their forensic analysts sharing their professional opinion on Brian Laundrie and his whereabouts, and they'll be like, you see, he's been alone for 4 or 5 days. They've been searching the same park, and they can't seem to find out where he's at. He's obviously having the help of some family member. He can't sustain life that long without it. Even if he would have gotten money when he went home, where has he not gone for this long, And so all these so then there's the other side of this, where it's like, I'm talking to Gabby Petito from the grave. Okay. So, Gabby says Brian's right there. We'll find him eventually. She said that he smokes crystal meth. That is why he's been able to survive for so long in the woods. Wait. Yes, without eating. So, yeah. It is confirmed that Brian Laundrie is frivolously masturbating in a wooden hut on amphetamines. Yes. Thank you, Gabby. So, that's the news. Everyone, just make sure you're looking for slanted trees forming some sort of shaded hut. There's going to be a small man, probably bald and with some sort of beard, frivolously masturbating. You'll find him there. And those are the two sides of it. It's just like everyone's like knows exactly where he's at. No one can fucking find him. Imagine that, right? But it is funny to think that like what his life was truly like, because like I don't know anything about it. I didn't look anything up. It makes it better if I have my head canon and then no one else can tell me what's truly happening in the world. But it is funny to think that Brian Laundrie went back to a family home. All right? And if I know anything about white families, it's that they want to tell you everything about their children, good and bad. Okay? I've talked to white mothers about their son's cocaine addiction for no real reason while they're picking up a number 4. You understand me? Okay? These people are insane. Okay? And it's partially secondhand PTSD and seeing these things and feeling helpless. I get it. But the other part of it is that you see Brian Landry go home and he probably got money, got some food. They probably slapped him on the ass, gave him a lasagna. If I know anything about white people, they cooked him a lasagna. And they told him, thank you for coming by. Sorry we'll never see you again. He's like, I am going to kill myself. They're like, of course. You can't go to jail. You know? And so they gave him a lasagna, a slap on the ass, kiss on the cheek, and he went off. And it's interesting to think, because like my aunt called Crime Stoppers on a man rolling a blunt in his car because she saw him drop tobacco out the window for $50. So that man went to so a black man went to jail for $50 that day. If that's not literal headhunting, if that's not legal headhunting, I don't know what it is. $50. And for what? For a guy to actually have his life fucked. For the state to make real revenue. That's what they're doing. They use that program so they can make other revenue. And they can take his car and his shit. And Brian Landry can't be fucking found? God damn, be fucking fired. It won't be that good. He'll probably be gunned down by police. He might have OD'd on heroin or something already. He probably, I mean, like, most people I know are like, well, I'm going to try crack or something if I'm going to die. Like, if that's what it is, I'm going to try it, you know? And, like, I bet he's at the, like, all right, if crack's around, I'll do it point, you know? I could see crackheads, like, and not just crackheads, but, like, people outside of society that don't have, like, who don't respect society's rules. Like, could you imagine just going to like a homeless camp and there's just like a bunch of people protecting Brian Landry? They're like, here's our leader. He came and he taught us everything we knew. Like, could you imagine? Like, he could be just like on the outskirts, just like having some like fucking Warriors-esque homeless camp. He's just like building it up. He's got fucking football pad shoulders on, and he's like, you will never take me alive. And then we immediately just, like, I mean, we'll just mow down homeless people with like machine guns, but it is funny to think about. And so there's the show Hooked on the Look. They always have this guy that's a host or whatever on there, and he's always talking about people they're bringing on. They're like, this is Lance. Lance had 6 of his 12 ribs removed so that he could have an 8-inch waist. And it's like this guy who's like literally on an IV drip about to die, and he's like, hey guys, just recovering from my surgery. I'm gonna get a Brazilian butt lift, and I'm gonna tell my sister about it today. And so like he's gonna get a Brazilian butt lift or whatever, and so it's like, this is Lance's sister, Stephanie, and they're gonna talk about his procedure today. And he's like, Stephanie, I need this Brazilian butt lift. If I don't get this, no one will love me. And she's like, Lance, no one loves you right now. They said if you get a Brazilian butt lift, your spine will break under the weight and you'll look like fucking Stephen Hawking. You understand? You'll fold over in the chair. And like, it's just people who are like they literally just sit there and tell their family members about what actually happens in their life until they're angry with concern. So it'll be like people's moms will be like, all right, my mom's coming on today and I'm telling her that I'm getting 48 double H tits. Now, she thought that my double I cups were too big because I accidentally crushed a civilian and I hurt them. But their family lived and they have a beautiful memorial on the sidewalk. That's not what it's about. It's about me, how I want to look. And like these people that are like, there's like doctors that'll come on, they'll be like, they're going to die, you know? Like, it just, I mean, like, they will not live. It's not even a contest. They're like this is completely unsafe, you know? Like, it just, and it'll show like a different ethnicity of doctor operating on them. You're like, wait a minute. But it's just one of those things that you're like, I don't understand what's even happening. It's a show about people killing themselves. It'd be like if we did one on influencers and they're like, this week I got into Xanax and let me tell you how that solved my problems. Tiffany was fucking pissing me off. I popped a quarter of a bar and I felt like a fucking angel, so I recorded an 8-hour live stream on Twitch. Didn't remember a thing. I woke up the next morning rejuvenated, full of energy and hungry for achievement. And it's just like shit like that. And then it'll be like 3 weeks later and they're like, I've popped 1,500 bars of Xanax since you last seen me. And it's like, I don't know if this is good. I don't know if this is good. You know? Every person off Friends, I would murder and then go to jail and I would serve my time because their characters deserved it. Now, I'm not talking about the people, Matthew Perry, Jennifer Aniston. They deserve to live. That's great. Their characters, though, got stabbed in a fucking alley and left. Let me show you that fucking season premiere. Let me show you that fucking season premiere, okay? That's what the fuck I would do with Friends, okay? The last S would be bent the fuck over and I'd be over the top of it fucking stabbing it. You understand? TV's garbage. But whatever. But whatever. It's interesting, though, especially about the looks. Whenever you have these people that are constantly changing their bodies to look better and killing themselves for it, you have the opposite side, the like complete opposite radical acceptance of it. And so there was this fucking video of this dude talking. He's like, "Yeah, the visibly different have been like misrepresented in a lot of different ways. For example, in Bond movies, in the last 2 Bond movies I've seen, there's a guy with a scar on their face, and they were the bad guy. Bro! The dudes with like visible differences, that's what they're calling it. The dudes with visible differences are fucking pussy, bro. What? What? Yeah, they're visibly different. Dude, here, I'll tell you what. The next Bond villain is Sloth. How you feel now? Are we good then? Yeah. He's got a scar on his face. He's got $7 million. He fucks as much pussy as he wants. It's probably Russian. He's probably wearing a tight black dress. And it's also probably got an eye patch. And he's probably fucking... Dang. What the fuck? You talking about... Yeah, dude. I'm tired of these Bond villains just looking like me and fucking kicking ass, dude. What the fuck is that? Like, and I get it. It's supposed to be that they're the bad guy. You don't want them to be feeling like the bad guy. But, bro... But you're not the Gangrene Gang. What? You're not what? It doesn't make any fucking sense. There's the 3 fucking caballeros, and it's just a bunch of fucking crows doing fucking crack and stealing shit. And it's fucking, and you're mad about the fucking Bond villains? He brought up Scar. Now, I get it. Scar wants to murder children. But, like, the idea that a tiger wouldn't have a scratch on their face is more absurd than the idea that a tiger would have a scratch on their face. And also, this is completely ignoring the idea of all of this. The reason it even ends up as a trope, the reason it even starts in writing, the reason it's even in screenplay. It's supposed to mark that these people are damaged. It's supposed to mark that these people have something else going on. It's supposed to mark that other people have those things and you just can't see them. Share that message. Don't be fucking gay about Lion King. You know? You're like, just like fucking tell me what the fuck happened to your face. And he's like, and this is when you start to get it though. You start to realize the difference. Right? This guy's like, yeah, so I had an eyebrow extend from the middle of my forehead all the way down to the side of my face up to the top of my head. And you're like, I don't understand the dimensions of that. But he's like, and then it got removed, and so now I have this visible scar left. Bro, yeah, I'd be pissed too if Scar's fucking rad as shit and he's a fucking tiger and fights people and that's how he got his shit, and fucking Bond villains get their shit from like eating like razor sharp pussy or whatever they do, like, because Bond villains are so fucking tight, and then you're like, oh yeah, my eyebrows were a little wild.
No, you don't want to get caught fucking around. You don't want to get caught on the bad side of Mercury retrograde. Hey, dummy. The fucking red thing in the sky. No. The fucking thing in the sky is going the other way. Hunker down. Don't leave the house. Take more Xanax. That's what Mercury retrograde is for. If you like those things, Mercury retrograde is for you. It's great too because it's supposed to be the worst time of the year that terrible things happen. It's supposed to be like Halloween, but it happens like 3 times a year for 3 weeks. So that's 9 weeks out of the 52, 56, whatever. I think it's 52 weeks in a year, whatever. But regardless, that's over sort of like 20% of the year. Bad. Throw it out. Don't leave the house. Fantastic. Regardless of how you vote, you're doing well. And here are some of the things to expect. If you do think you know what, I am gonna leave the house anytime between January and February. Let me remind you of something. If you like, I think it was what was it, June and July, and then there's another one that like it goes back and forth. But so what to expect during Mercury retrograde? Miscommunications and arguments. Anytime something goes wrong, if all of a sudden somebody leaves a toilet seat up, that's because the planet is out of place, and that's not their fault. The planet's out of place. That's not their fault, and you can't do anything about it because the planet is doing the best it can. It's just floating as fast as it's gonna. So hunker down for Mercury retrograde. You can't stop that. You can't hold miscommunications and arguments are going to happen. That's no one's fault. The next thing that's going to happen, you're going to have difficulty expressing yourself. So you're going to have miscommunications and arguments because you're not going to be able to express yourself. So somebody's going to come in and they're going to go, "Hey, you're going to go, the toilet seat's up," and that makes me angry, and I'm gonna go fucking figure this out, right? But then you can't, because you can't express yourself because Mercury's going the wrong way. You see where and the next thing to watch out for is you're overly emotional and overly sensitive to criticism. Okay. So now you're like, okay, the toilet seat's up. I'm gonna have a fucking meltdown because I'm gonna have difficulty time expressing myself. Right? So you go in there and you're like, "Listen, man, the toilet seat, not right." They look at you and they go, "I'll kill you." I'll kill you. Yeah, I'll kill you. Mercury retrograde, baby. Mercury's going wrong way in the sky. Can't hold them accountable. Don't call the police. They'll tell you, Baker 19, Mercury retrograde. Yeah, they can't do it. It's no one's fault. The next thing to look out for after dealing with all of these is that you'll also be, oh yeah, this is the best. You'll also be overly critical of everyone. So wait, go back to the toilet seat. Think about it now. You're an asshole. So remember, Mercury, wrong way in the sky, you're an asshole. So you're like, fuck, do I go apologize? What do I do? You don't know. Mercury is going the wrong way, the toilet seat's up, and you're loading a gun. because Mercury is not looking good. It keeps floating, and you're like, how much longer do we have? You look it up, it's 3 weeks long. You've been here for 3 days. Not good. So then you're like, okay, what's the next thing I can expect from Mercury retrograde, right? You think to yourself, what else could possibly fucking go wrong as you're loading your gun? You go, you know what? No, we're gonna be okay. You get in your car, you're on your way to the gas station. You go, oh shit, I forgot to check that Facebook post. What else happens during Mercury retrograde? And you read out traffic delays and minor accidents. Boom, and you hit a fucking car in front of you. Now you're looking for the gun. You left it at home. And it's because that's part of your minor accident. And the traffic delays. Mercury, wrong way in the sky. Toilet seats are up. You're loading guns. And you're hitting cars with your car because Mercury doesn't know which way it's fucking going. You understand? It's 3 times a year that happens. 3 times a year that you can't leave the fucking house. So then you think to yourself, you're like, fucking hell. I'm not gonna leave the house. I'm staying home, right? You check the Facebook post, the next thing on the list. Revisiting old traumas. You decide to lock it up. Your car's totaled. Oopsies. Mercury, wrong way in the sky. You have a loaded gun. Your car's not working. What do? Toilet seats up. Huh? You start revisiting your old traumas. whatever that may mean. You start thinking you start thinking about those times in college that you got drunk every day, and you think, was that the happiest time of my life? Has it gotten better? I told myself it would get better. I did. I said, we're going to stop drinking. We're going to finish these classes. You finally finished your class. You never went to grad school, but you finished your classes and you felt good about it. Your parents felt good about it. They felt like they didn't waste their money. And now you're sitting here and you're thinking, is it going to get better? Did I stick my dick in that iguana for no reason at that frat party? I thought those were my brothers. I've been working a packing job for how long now? These things are questions you ask yourself because Mercury is going the wrong way in the sky. You have a loaded gun in your closet. You're staring at the closet from afar. Aqua Teen Hunger Force is on the TV. You can hear fucking... You can hear your fucking wife banging on your door asking why the fucking toilet seat's up, and you're about to go off. I know I switched people with the toilet seat. The toilet seats are up everywhere. It's a travesty. You can switch any family. There's a toilet seat up somewhere. You understand? So you check your Facebook post and you pray to God. You're praying to God. Nothing else happens, and then you go. It says that people will just, in general, be anxious, nervous, and clumsy, and you think, okay, thank God. This is my only issue. You get up to take a sip of Mountain Dew that's across the way on your dresser and you stub your toe. Because Mercury's going the wrong way in the sky. And now, you would go to the closet and get the gun, but you can't walk there. So you sit back on the bed and you just kind of think about how you can't even figure out how to tie a noose. You couldn't figure out the knot, and you probably don't have a strong enough rope. You couldn't afford one because they're big. You see the ropes in the movies and they're huge. And so you're and so you're worried about that, and the post you read the next one, and it says that in general everyone will have issues with mental health and just clarity, whatever that may mean. So you're thinking it doesn't get better. This might be it. The frat days haven't gotten better. The toilet seats are up. There's a gun in your closet. Your car is totaled. And you can't see, or whatever, and so all of these things, you're like, what does this have to do with anything? This has nothing to do with anything. It has everything to do with everything. And even the last one, it's great because it just says you'll rekindle. And this is what I'm talking about, like people using this, like they know their target audience. Like this has got to just be shitty men who are trying to get like women who are like in like half-ass relationships to like fuck, right? Because like it just like the last one is rekindle toxic relationships that should be left in the past. That is either a guy who is like, I'm trying to get this girl to fuck and she's just not leaving him and I know it's best, old Yeller needs put down, or that's like your dad texting you on your birthday, but like instead of saying happy birthday, he's like, hey, remember that one time you broke your arm 3 years ago? Do you still have those pills? like those are the only two options. And you're sitting there with the gun loaded in your closet, the toilet seat up, and your car totaled, and your wife screaming, and you're like, what do I do? You know? Because you do need the money for the pills. but it's just a thing. All of it. All of... I'm not picking my nose, okay? It fucking itches under here, okay? There's a lot of hair. It's like a microfiber thing. I'm gonna get new ones, okay? And they're gonna look way cooler, okay? Fuck you guys. And I understand my mouth looks small in this. I know it looks like I'm going like, ooh. I got butthole lips if I make them fit this correctly, but I kind of like it. It adds character to it. Astrology is fun, but it truly is a modern-day snake oil. And we have those everywhere. There's modern-day snake oils and everything. Ow, shit. I thought the internet would expose charlatans. No. The internet made charlatans. And it leads to weird things that get passed down. This is my point that I was getting to earlier. Sorry, a lot of coffee led me down a road. This man had issues quite similar. With substances, which I pray for him. I hope the best, because there's a lot of people where like I got out of things because I just didn't prefer things. I am lucky because I don't love the drugs that I tried That's why I'm lucky. There's some people out there who are and you don't know this and you think you're better than everyone, but you just haven't had it. You just were lucky enough to avoid it. Where you get a Xanax prescription and you think, well, if I'm doing that, I won't get addicted to anything. But guess what? You're a heroin junkie. Deep fucking down. As soon as you take one sweet, sweet fucking breath of it, never going back. You want to exhale that ecstasy. You don't even want to ever think about not inhaling it. You'll never, just like, and it's a metaphor, but you get what I'm saying, is that people think they're different, but you just have been lucky enough to not run into that drug, to have it had not been prescribed by a doctor, to have had it not been pushed in your fucking face, told that it's the answer to everything. There's a time that he and I were hanging out with these girls. They wore like skirts that were short. They had faces with a lot of makeup on and hair that was done. They were trying to look pretty. Okay, you understand? They had a goal going out. There was something they wanted going out that night. And I was trying to make a transaction. You understand? I was trying to deal in this gambit. Okay, I was trying to be a part of this transaction. And so we get these women and we start talking to them, and you have to find somebody who's dealing with the transaction, not the people who are there for girls' night to hang out with their girls. They don't ever get to see them any other night. You see the girls that hang out together every fucking day, and they're tired of each other. They have fucking names that start with A's and end in like I's or Lee's or whatever bullshit, you know. And like, what I'm saying is, you need to find them. And those are the ones looking for a transaction. So we do. We start talking to them, and it's going well. We're taking shots at the bar. We're taking pictures and shit so they can show their friends the next day or whatever fucking bullshit. And it's going well. We start getting these girls like to hang out with us. We go back to his house. And Baloney starts talking about Christmas when he was 9. And he's talking about how he's about to go to sleep. And he's snuggling up on his pillow. And he says all of a sudden, his mother barges in with her back to him. He's like, what's happening, Mom? And so he starts imitating. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done it. It bugs me. It's so bad. In front of these two women who want to make a transaction, okay? Like we were making half transactions and refunds on the dance floor. You understand what I'm saying? And these women were about to make a transaction. He starts talking and he starts like imitating himself, calling out to his mother, and explains how he starts seeing a man on their floor fucking her. And these girls like start backing up, and I can't. This whole thing is a game. Like, you think I'm joking, but I am a dummy. This is all one joke. This is all a game. If I don't get laid this one night because this guy is talking about his traumas and his past, that's so fucking funny. I can't stop it. So I just start laughing. And so now these women are like, what the fuck is this? This guy's talking about his mom fucking some dude on the floor of his bedroom on Christmas Eve, and this guy's enjoying it, laughing his ass off like it's a fun fucking time. They got fucking Ubers out of there. It's an insane thing, but all of this stuff is just passed down to your kids in crazy ass ways, in just ways you don't even think about. Like, substance abuse is an easy one to see, but anxiety is a harder one. I went over to my parents' house and I had some food. It was delicious. Great job, Mom. I hope you're not watching this. And so, I pray to God. If you are, it's probably in a courtroom and you're probably sobbing, and I'm sorry. But we went over to my mother's house for some dinner, and I have these neighbors who are interesting. They're not bad people by any means. They're actually very good people. They'll always host at their house. They will love having people over. And they're personable. They're funny. And they kind of shoot shit at each other. Like they'll talk some shit to you, and I respect people who can just talk shit and feel comfortable and like establish a dynamic. And so these are the same people that, and my stepdad, I'm pretty sure, hates squirrels. There's squirrels all around. It's an area where the houses are close together, and so there's these squirrels, and they're going out of town for vacation. And the neighbor comes over and asks my stepdad if he will feed the squirrels. My stepdad's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" You know? Because you think to yourself, feed the squirrels? The rodents? I'll tell you what, if they're hungry, they'll eat their babies. You understand? They don't need corn. They don't want corn, they want babies. They're like Hillary Clinton. They're rodents. You understand? Eat babies, like Chrissy Teigen. And so he gives him individual baggies with different fucking things in them, like they're corn addicts, and they can only have so much before they OD. And so he's expected to like hand these out to the squirrels. The neighbor will like run out into the street yelling at people going too fast, be like, "There's squirrels in here!" Like, what the fuck is going on, dude? And so my son is expected to feed these squirrels. Let me explain to you. And these aren't normal squirrels. Okay? There's other stories, I've forgotten them because it's late in the night and things have been happening. But there's other squirrel stories. So, I lived with my mother for too long. Mind your business. And I'm upstairs one morning. And my mother is, yelling. "Ah! Ah! Dumb! 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 Make it stop! Make it stop!" And so I obviously think somebody is trying to assault my mother. So I'm like, and she's yelling at the window like this. She's like yelling. She's like, "Make it stop! Make it stop!" And so I'm like, okay, no one's like on top of her, so I don't understand what's happening. So I go and like look. And so I see a squirrel on the ground. And so the squirrel, I swear to fucking God, you don't have to believe me, but the squirrel, the sick fuck, he goes down, he picks up this other squirrel, he picks him up, and he shakes his head left and right, like addressing him side to side. Shakes his head, not working. He picks him up in his mouth, takes him all the way to the top of the tree, and my mother starts yelping again. "Ah! Ah! Ah!" Like I don't even know what's happening. Like it sounds like a fucking crow. And fucking, oh, I get it, bird, crow. Okay, I get it now. Whatever. So they fucking, the squirrel throws this fucking squirrel down, this other squirrel in his jaw that's already dead. I know it's dead. I don't need to feel the pulse. That onion rings. Throws it down off the fucking top of a tree. Bam. Falls down again. My mother's about to tears. About to start crying. She's like sitting down on the couch. Like it's like whenever my grandfather died, I swear to God. It's the same scenario. She's sitting on the couch. She's beside herself. And so now I'm looking out the window. Now here's the issue. To me, I'm Bob Ross, and this is WWE, and I'm like, oh my God, he's a slobber knocker. Jesus Christ, he's picking him up again to the top turnbuckle, all the way to the top. Oh my God, he's jumping off the cage. He'll never survive. The blood leaking from his face. Oh my Lord, he's shotgunning a beer over his body. Oh my God, it's never gonna be the same. And my mother's like in tears, like on the fucking, like on the couch. And so I'm like, alright. She's like, "Dumb, stop." I'm like, sorry, my bad, whatever. So this squirrel has thrown him off a total of 3 times now. He's thrown this squirrel from the top rope 3 times off the Hell in a Cell. And I don't know what to do. Because, like, now the squirrel's obviously sending me a message, and I want him to know I got it. I don't want to go out there and be like, stop killing your friends in front of the house. He's like, oh, that wasn't enough? I don't have to kill my brother in front of your house to send a message? I'll show you what the fuck I'm going to do. So I'm like, yo, step back. You know what I'm saying? I've seen squirrels like walk up into my yard, start digging in some shit, and I'll be like, oh bro, you do not belong here. And some squirrel with no fucking tail, and one ear, like a goddamn veteran, will walk up and he'll just start like and doing whatever gay shit with his fucking teeth or whatever, and he'll start fucking beating this other dude's ass with no fucking tail, bro. And I don't know if that's an advantage. I don't know. I don't know if he like cut it off in like some sort of tribalistic ritual. I don't know, but he's definitely a leader.